Does this work? Reince Priebus joins us now, chairman of the Republican National Committee, where they do things a little bit differently. Reince, good morning. Good to see you this morning. Welcome.
Hey, good morning, Martha.
So, I mean, this is the way it stands now, and describe this to everybody as you see it. How does it work?
Well, I mean, the way it works, and I can tell you, in our party, delegates are elected by the grassroots of our party, the people that work hard, and they generally have miniature elections in each congressional district in a state, and then they're bound to various winners based on, in many cases, the outcome of a caucus or a primary vote at in a particular state. What the Democrats do is they do that, but then on top of it, they layer appointed superdelegates, elected officials, people that are awarded special status in the party, to then be unbound, meaning they're free agents to vote from whoever they want to, regardless of the outcome of a primary or a caucus or a convention. So, if you talk about stacking the deck and ignoring the will of your party, that's what they're doing.
Yeah, I mean, people think that they walk in and they vote in the primary, and that, basically those votes decide whether or not the person is going to win that state, and essentially most people would assume that means taking the delegates. I just want to show everybody what the delegate count looks like right now on the Republican side, because there again, you've had some big wins, and yet the delegates are scattered in a way that does not really portray that. You've got Donald Trump at 17, Cruz at 11, Rubio 10, Kasich 5, Bush 4, Carson 3. So there's 14 delegates between Donald Trump and Ben Carson right now, and that is going to continue to be proportional until the middle of March when you start the winner-take-alls, right?
Right. I mean, what's going to happen here is there's going to be a media obsession over South Carolina and Nevada, but then March 1st is going to come. And I think there's 12 states going in on March 1st, all proportional. So on March 2nd, what you all are going to do is probably not talk about what happened in Mississippi and Alabama and Tennessee and all, trying to figure it all. You're just going to say, what's the count? And the count, if I had to guess, is not going to be, there's not going to be any real clear differences in the count. So this is going to take a while. Remember, Martha, Mitt Romney wrapped up, or at least became presumptive nominee at the end of April 4 years ago, and they started 30 days sooner. So the idea that somehow this is just going to be done in the next couple of weeks is just, it's not going to happen.
So, it could be May,
a little bit
or even
slow here for a while.
Early June, right? Excuse me. I mean, it could go as late as early June.
Well, I would suspect sometime in April we'll have a clear picture. I've always said that, and I think that's going to be the case. But to think that you're going to know in March is just not true, at least from my perspective.
While I have a chance, I just want to ask you what your take is on this whole discussion, shall we call it, between Donald Trump and the Pope.
I think the whole world knows that that's a question I can't win on. Look, I have total respect and admiration for Pope Francis, but I do believe that no one's really in a position to knowingly judge someone's faith, and that's kind of where I'm at. I think that's really between everyone and God, and really that's something that only God knows. People can obviously make judgments, but only God really knows the answer to those sorts of questions.
There you go. All right, Reince. Thank you very much. Good to see you. We'll see you soon.
You bet. You bet.